Hey, Dr. Fiorini here. I wanted to tell you I just got an email from Tony Robbins, and as most of you know, I like motivational speakers and motivational speaking. I wanted to share a little bit of insight that Tony shared in his email that he sent out to a lot of his subscribers. And to say we're living in uncertain times is a huge understatement. I've been on this earth for 56 years, and that spans from the Vietnam War to 9/11, to the global financial crisis, to this crisis. And I've lived through periods of tremendous change and turmoil in the world at various moments in the history of society when no one could predict what would happen next. And we're in that situation right now. But the level of fear and uncertainty that we are currently witnessing is unprecedented, to say the least. I see it on people's faces, I hear it in their voices. And now that we're all in our homes with little real connection with each other, I'm witnessing it on social media. I'm witnessing it here in the office. We fear being hurt. We are scared of the economy. We're scared of not being in control. And now we're even scared of each other, coming in contact with each other. And I've seen this all over the United States in the last couple of weeks. Now, don't get me wrong, fear is a real natural human instinct, and it's our 2 million-year-old brain that is designed to protect ourselves in the moment for the sake of survival. It's always looking for what's wrong, so you can fight, so you can run away from threat, or you can freeze. But if you do one of these three things every time you're fearful, or if you have pain, you're going to be constantly fighting. You're going to be constantly running away, or you're going to be constantly stopping and putting your life on hold. And that really is no way to live. So, every day we drive down a highway with nothing but a painted yellow line dividing you from cars that are they're coming head first towards you at 70 miles per hour on some of the roads here in Florida. And you know that every single day, people cross that line. They kill innocent people, just like yourself, just like your family, on the other side of that yellow line. And you also know that a certain percentage of those drivers are drunk. You also know some are texting. Some are falling asleep. Those are the facts. And every single day this happens all over the world. And in fact, 1.4 million people will die in car accidents each year around the world. That's more than 3,200 a day. And yet we still get in our cars and we still drive. Why? Because of another F word. And it's 100 times more powerful than the fear word. It's another 4-letter word, and it's called faith. Faith is not learned. It's something we're born with. Faith is what fuels us through times of fear and uncertainty, and it's more powerful than any emotion, even fear. And when things are breaking loose, it gives us the ability to find our center, to help ourselves and others to find answers, to find a higher meaning in the midst of our pain and in spite of our fear. I've been seeing this all over town since I got back from vacation. Faith is knowing that at our core, we're more than anything we will ever face, and we can handle whatever life brings us. We always have, and we always will. That's the power of the human species. Human beings are unique from other species in that we have the ability to control our behavior, to train ourselves to be emotionally fit and create an inner strength, a psychology of resilience, if you will. One failure does not mean we stop trying. You see, animals don't have that. Anyone who's ever tried to train a dog knows it pretty well. They experience 1, maybe 2 failures, and they've learned their lesson. They won't try it again. You see, we're the opposite. We're eternal optimists. We fail, and then we try again. It's the human way. You just look at some of the most successful companies and people in the world today. Most of their founders and leaders experienced massive failure many, many times over before they were successful. You can think of Walt Disney, Thomas Edison, Steve Jobs. All had many failures, and yet we think of them as some of the most successful leaders of all time. You see, they learned, they adapted, they grew, and they started over. Think about that. The beautiful gift of being human is that we're resilient as a species. We're adaptable to nature. And this won't be the only crisis the world will ever go through, and it won't be the only crisis any one of us ever goes through. And it certainly won't be the only crisis that anyone we love ever goes through. You see, people are shaped not by how things go when things are going well. People's lives are shaped by the most difficult times. That's what tries us in the fire of life. We have a resourcefulness inside ourselves that says no matter what happens in life, who I am is bigger than anything that could ever happen to me or anyone I love. No problem is permanent, and nothing that happens is pervasive. You see, life is both pain and pleasure, both opportunity and challenge, both birth and death. And there's a season and a time for everything. And it's not for us to decide what the right season is or which season we should be in. It's our job to embrace the season that's been given to us. We're to adapt to our surroundings. You see, in this uncomfortable moment, it feels a lot like winter used to be in the frozen north when I was up in Detroit, doesn't it? A lot of people are just isolated in their homes, trying to protect themselves and their family from the cold and try and stay warm. And for many people, it's the season of boredom. You see, schools and restaurants are closed, social events are on hold, concerts are on hold, office workers are homebound. And for those who are out in the world, like healthcare workers, like our office, there's a feeling of trepidation, of dangerous exposure that might take place. But as someone once said, in the depth of winter, I finally learned that there was in me an invincible summer. You see, just because it's winter right now, winter doesn't last forever. You see, spring always follows winter. We'll spring back to normal life like we always do, like we've done for centuries. And when we do, will you be prepared? Are you trained for future challenges? You see, Tony said in this email that the meeting of preparation and opportunity generates the offspring that we call luck. In every crisis lies opportunity. People who are successful are not lucky, they're just prepared for opportunities that come their way. You see, anticipation is power. So what are you going to do during this winter season? Are you going to sit back in boredom? Or maybe out of that boredom, join the fearful crowds, magnifying meaning and exaggerating risk to the point where there is only the worst case scenario? Will you create disempowering emotions and bring yourself and others down? Or will you discipline your fears, stand guard at the door of your mind, rise to the challenge that is facing us, and adopt beliefs that empower you? You see, you're in charge of that. Regardless of what's happening around you, there's a part of you that's still very strong. You need to, at this time, call on that part of you. The part of you that's hungry, the part of you that is courageous in the face of unfathomable fear, the part of you that won't put up with excuses. Call that part of you forward. Call that part of you to step up, to become what you were made for. This is our opportunity. This is your opportunity right now. You see, it's what you practiced in private that you'll be rewarded for in public. That's this right now is your private time. It's your time that you can be training to prepare for what's ahead. If your health is less than you'd like it to be, focus on improving that. If your relationships have become stagnant or distant, work on those things. You see, this is the time that you can do it. This is the time that you can find out what you can do. You go running, work out. Business owners, sit down and take the time to work on your business, to strategize, to envision the business that you need to become in order to succeed in the new environment. You want to make your map, you want to plan, you want to learn, and you want to grow, because it's guaranteed that winter will end. And when it does, you'll emerge so far ahead of everyone else who has not used the time as efficiently as you that it will feel like you finished miles ahead. You'll leapfrog past your peers, past your competitors. You'll have taken your life to the next level. What's more important is taking your life to the next level, especially on your health, as we deal with it here at Fearney Chiropractic Center. In the meantime, we are challenged each and every day to add massive value, to provide people with more than they're asking for. At Fearney Chiropractic Center, we know that chiropractic care has been shown to increase your immune response. It helps you to be healthier. And no matter where you are in the world, no matter how much time you have or don't have, you can work on yourself. So you can go and find all sorts of things on the internet to read. You can find time to read that book. But remember, it's time to become conscious of your power and remind yourself and all those around you that the human race is resilient, that it's flexible and is strong beyond imagination. I'm calling on you to be a leader these days, okay? Do what you need to get your life in order, to get your health in order, and to feel better and do the things that you need to do. The grocery stores are open, so don't be buying the Pop-Tarts. Don't be buying all of the processed food. Make sure that you're doing something that's going to add to your health, especially in this time when we all think that it's so dangerous to be out in public. The human race always has, and it always will be resilient.